monster, Naoya Inoue, is one of the greatest super bantamweight champions of all time. However, despite being such a great fighter, he has faced disrespect from nearly all of his opponents. From all-out brawls to desired rematches, get ready to witness how Naoya Inoue destroyed arrogant champions who thought they would put Inoue in his place.
The home crowd now really get behind him. And a lovely left to the body. Lovely shot. I'm not doing what the ref's doing. He's counting now. That was a lovely left to the body, Chris.
On December 23rd, 2023, in Tokyo, Japan, Naoya Inoue faced a fearsome opponent in Marlon Tapales. At the time, Marlon held the WBA and IBF titles, while Naoya held the WBC and WBO titles. With a win over Marlon Tapales, Naoya would end up becoming the first undisputed super bantamweight champion in the four-belt era. But Marlon Tapales was an absolute beast who trained vigorously to defeat Naoya for the same stakes.
Herring, this is the undisputed super bantamweight championship. Naoya Inoue in the white, red, and blue trunks. There's a left hand for Tapales that gets in.
Stepping over, but what you don't want to do is stand in front of him, because, like, again, we've seen him explode out with a 1-2 and you know, end fights.
The 1-2 there, that was partially blocked by Tapales, but that's what Tapales doesn't want to have happen. There's a left hand. That's going to be called a slip. And you see Inoue with that back foot taking a step back, almost trying to get that looping to disrupt punches coming towards the head.
See how he fell in? Nice jab from Tapales. But that right there is still like, no, because you're just a sitting target.
And here comes Inoue.
He's not looking for one shot. He's letting his hands go. You know, nice shot to the body. He's creating. He's trying to create openings if he can.
And Jamel, to your point, it looks like Inoue is baiting Tapales a little bit here.
Ooh. And even Inoue, you know what I'm saying, he put his hands up, and what happened? He didn't see that shot that just broke through the guard. And that's what I mean, that body shot.
And you have to give credit to Tapales. Yes, he's the underdog, but he's also a unified champion in this division. He's not coming in like we've seen previous opponents of Inoue do and not trying to engage.
And again, I like the game plan that Tapales is doing, though, in terms of the body. He's going to the body, you know, to probably take away some of that power of Inoue, but he has to be careful. You don't want to get greedy.
And here comes Inoue. These are hard shots by Naoya Inoue. Big left hand to the head. Here comes Inoue, the monster. Left hand, right hand. Tapales is down.
Didn't see the shot with the high guard. Came around the guard. Put him down.
You're tentative, and then you end up getting dropped.
The thing is, he can box with them. You know, he can box with them. He just got to, you know, he's got to watch it. He got to just watch when he places his shots, elbows and everything.
And Inoue started
just like
that. 5, the way he ended round 4. Devastating shots downstairs, then upstairs.
And standing in front of him is not going to help. All you're doing is becoming a punching bag and a sitting target.
That's a scary.
Now he's getting pieced up
against Naoya Inoue. Right hand gets through the guard. Another right hand.
Nice
Big uppercut for Inoue.
Woo! Nice counter from Tapales, though. Nice counter from Inoue. That was nice. That was nice from Tapales.
Tapales lands a sneaky.
Another one.
And another one. Here comes Marlon Tapales.
Ooh. Nice.
Both men exchanging right hands to the head.
Oh.
Big uppercut by Inoue.
And again, just standing in front of him. He needs to do something. Feint, turn, something.
It's not where you want to be if you're Marlon Tapales.
Oh, nice. I love that uppercut from Tapales, though, because it's breaking the guard of Inoue. Ooh. I know a lot of those are blocked, but you can hear just the pop on them. But it's like I said earlier, if you know, he got caught. It's coming out with his hands down. But it's like I said earlier, though.
Huge right hand for Inoue to close out round 6. Halfway through our Undisputed Super Bantamweight Championship, Inoue did score the knockdown in round 4.
You gotta keep backing the monster up. Put that in the glove. Ooh.
Huge left and right hand get through for Inoue.
And he's having moments. He's probably been winning the round. He's got coach, but respect to him. He's found an adjustment that's actually working. He got, you know what I mean? He's not taking a lot of. He's bending his knees. He's got the body movement. He's turning. The jab is finding more success. Now, you know what I'm saying? He's catching Inoue falling at times.
It's also, Jamel, you mentioned Tapales lowering that right lead hand. It also allows a different angle for him to throw the jab that Inoue may not be expecting.
Nice.
Big right hand there for Inoue. Hoped for and expected from Tapales, even though he has 2 bouts, came in as an underdog, has shocked the world before.
He's doubling up that right hand. See, again, he's doubling up that right hand.
Right is working for Tapales. Of Inoue's lead foot.
But he has to watch. I know he has to watch it. Even because when he shoots that jab forward, he shoots right. He falls right on the inside.
Tapales goes back to that high guard. Making in-fight adjustments. At times frustrating Inoue.
And you notice at times when he puts his hands up like that, Inoue would throw a shot and then he'll, ooh.
Big right hand there, backed up Tapales. And can he beat the count? He's not gonna make it up. Naoya Inoue makes history.
He came to fight. And again, like I said, it's shots like that. Even though it was on the glove, but you see just how hard he hits. You knew he was gonna break. He was gonna break through the guard and start touching that chin just like that. He thought he had his hands up and he thought he was protected. Sat on that right hand.
And that's incredible. Both of those right hands were partially blocked.
Yeah.
In the end, Naoya Inoue defeated his opponent to become the first 4-belt champion in his weight class. But this next fight was even more intense. How would the toughness and experience of Paul Butler serve him when he found himself in there with the monster? How soon would he realize just how far out of his depth he was? Inoue was coming up against some real crowd support for Butler, but would that actually help him in the long run?
I expect him to go down to the body of Butler.
Among all active fighters, that is double the bantamweight average. First 2-punch combination of significance from Inoue.
You know, I think this was a quintessential round for Inoue. He's doing right by staying defensively sound and not opening up right away.
3-punch combination from Inoue. Now Butler takes a step forward for a moment. Inoue comes back with a right hand behind the jab.
Inoue didn't seem to need to make a whole lot of reads here. By round 2, he had pretty much figured Butler out.
He's still comfortable right now, still protecting himself. He fears that power of Inoue.
Or double jab that time, a 5-punch combination. He went double jab, right hand, left hand to the body. He has landed 3 lefts to the body.
Vicious body work. Like I tell you guys in the past, you see Inoue throwing where Butler's moving to cut him off, to pin him on the ropes. Land his own body shot on Inoue.
And Butler comes back with a right hand up top before going with the high guard again. Inoue taking those small steps just to corral Butler, always keeping him in range. There's a right hand and a left hand to the body that backed it up.
Just
not enough offense, Timmy, to keep Inoue off. There's a right hand that comes in, and 2 lefts to the body. It's interesting when he detailed that trip to the wild card.
Building any form of momentum against a guy like Inoue is tough, and Butler was already struggling.
That corner and desperately needs to get out. He has that left hand up.
Just a vicious assault right here. Inoue cornering Butler. Butler protecting himself really well. A lot of those things was caught on the glove. But as you see, no return fire from Butler. He is timid.
2-punch combination again, working behind that jab. comes here in round number 3. But what you describe as that teeter-totter, the ability to throw punches and generate torque, bringing back the offhand to create more power.
No, the teeter-totter combination is the right uppercut. So it goes up. So that side is up, and then he comes down. The opposite side is down, and it's around the elbow to the liver. Will neglect defense, Butler will come on with his combinations. The hook is the best punch I believe that Butler has landed.
There wasn't much that could be said about Butler's shortcomings, but he could barely find any form of offense in this fight.
As is the case with Gallagher. Speaking to his charge, Paul Butler, 34-win WBO champion. Inoue closing the gap into that corner again. Left hook comes in. Inoue comes around the guard with a right hand.
Just more domination from Inoue. Target practice at this moment. This is punching bag work right here. You know, Butler, I understand.
Butler's corner were getting desperate now, telling their fighter that Inoue was slowing down, but he very clearly wasn't.
Hoping.
Closes range with the jab, gets the inside left hand, came to the body, finished with a left hook upstairs. Right hand comes behind the jab, left uppercut, right uppercut. There's that left hand to the body. It's been so effective.
Inoue was finding his flow state in round 6, and this spelled trouble for Butler.
Seeing Inoue with the right.
Taking more chances, trying to get him to open up so he can land that kill.
Naoya clearly decided to step up his pressure in round 8, and Butler was starting to wilt.
Beautiful left hook down to the body.
Right hand from Inoue. Stop Butler's lateral movement for a moment. You can hear the encouragement from the corner of Paul Butler as he's sent back with another right hand that hits that high guard.
All that was keeping Butler in this fight was his toughness.
And you're headed to a shutout loss, no matter.
Yes.
There was a real feeling of worry in Butler's corner as the championship rounds approached. Aside from a puncher's chance, there wasn't much else he could do.
Butler was up against the ropes. That time willing to throw, and Inoue filled that gap with a right hand. Right hand from Inoue.
He can open up a big shot. Touch, 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 touch. Get him defensive, and then boom. A big shot downstairs.
Eventually, it became clear that his race was run.
Now Inoue with a combination to open up this 11th round.
Changing up the cadence, baby. Speed coming down the middle, but now he needs to bring it downstairs after he get those hands high and raised.
Right hand to the body, that was a good one. And a big right hand that comes in. Great work from Inoue. Big combination scores the knockdown here in round 11. That power of Inoue comes through, and he gets it done at 11. Dismisses an unengaged Paul Butler by hitting the accelerator and putting on a show.
Inoue made him a punching bag for the entire night.
Once again, the judges would not be needed here, although you gotta give credit to Butler for his toughness. But Inoue was clearly on a totally different level here, and he would have won this fight 10 times out of 10. On May 6th, 2024, Naoya Inoue put his titles on the line to fight Luis Neri in Tokyo, Japan.
This is the greatest, most important boxing event in the history of Japan.
It would end up being one of the most significant fights in Japan in recent years, as Naoya Inoue faced an opponent who was very prepared for what he brought to the ring. In fact, Luis Neri managed to make weight a whole day early without any drastic tactics or preparations. On top of that, Luis managed to do what every other fighter in the past never managed to: knock him down.
Oh! There it is! Inoue goes down!
And goes down, and I can tell you, if Inoue lands on Neri and he goes down, he's one of the best finishers in the game.
Right hand coming through from Inoue early on.
I like that from Neri. It's dangerous. However, when he got to be careful reaching right there. Inoue tends to bag out in straight lines. He drops that left hand, and when he throws the left hook, he has a tail. He drops that left hand first before he leads with that left hook.
Now on the inside, Inoue covering up, tries to deliver a right hand of his own, an uppercut. Comes breaks through, but Neri unaffected. He keeps punching.
Let's take into account that Neri is a veteran in this weight class. Been in this weight class for about, I believe, a couple of years now, Tess.
Of course, the title is at 118 and 122. And now, how does the monster react as he goes back to the jab? You have to go all the way back. The last major fight card was Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson in February of 1990. And then the first round of the showcase event in all that time, and the great Inoue hits the canvas.
But Neri seems to be changing up his attack, Tess. Right now, he's trying to be patient. He's trying to catch Inoue out of position. When Inoue commits, he's out of position.
Oh,
there
and
it is.
Inoue returns the favor.
Lunging forward. Neri again on the attack, coming forward, reaching with that left hand. You see him forward shift, and Inoue right there just filling that gap or that space with that left hook. Here he is reaching with the backhand. Inoue stepping back, has a single high shield. Oh, why don't you eat that, young man? Go ahead and sit down.
And Tim, that is a prime example of what you described in terms of elite technique and athleticism.
Yes.
You just saw it from Inoue. That was from about 4 to 6 inches away. And watch that back foot.
Feet and hand working together. That's a bad habit from Neri. I don't know if he was extremely hurt from that shot, Tess.
A great bounce back round for Inoue after he suffered the first knockdown of his career in round 1.
When a fighter starts to anticipate, Tess, actions and reactions, that's when things start to slow down for him.
This combination from Inoue. And now he goes with that right hand to the body. Remember, it was a body shot that caused Neri's only defeat of his career.
The punch placement right now is giving Neri fits. Neri understands that he can't compete with that. He's looking for that single shot. He's looking for Inoue to make a mistake to make him pay. If Inoue gets overconfident and throws too many shots and get a little bit greedy, good right hand. Inoue now is getting comfortable, getting the groove.
Oh, there's another one, Timmy.
Anticipation is on. Neri better change things up. He better start feinting, start using his jab.
Oh, there's another one that splits the guard. Between Inoue and Neri, and that right hand in the third round was effective, Tim.
You see the low guards right there of Neri. Poor defensive habits, keeping his guard low.
In the first round, Luis Neri scored the knockdown. He had a 15-8 connect advantage. 45 previous rounds, Inoue had more total connects until the first round tonight against Neri.
His defense has to get better. He has to be responsible after his offense.
4-punch combination from Inoue. There's that pop right hand. Again, it's finding the target.
And Inoue massacre, straight left, right hand, right down the middle. Right between the seam. Great execution right there from the champion, and that's the shot I'm talking about. Inoue seems to be softening him up right now. He's just taking advantage of those poor fundamental habits.
Oh, look at this! Little showboat, trying to draw him in and then firing off.
With straight shots up top, they'll be able to come around, and here he is, showboating a little bit.
That was the moment that got the crowd's attention.
Again, told you, defense got to be on point when you're facing Inoue with the speed, power, and accuracy that he brings to the table. You know, that's why he's a 2-division world champion. Yes, he has the skills, he has punching power. However, that toughness, grittiness, he's going to have to bring that out tonight to get one. You can just see Inoue right now just weakening up Neri, weakening him. And I think he's looking for that left hook to the liver. That's what he's trying to set up. He's trying to get him used to the shots up top, upstairs.
Round number 5.
Yeah, the positioning of Inoue, top notch.
Oh, there's 2 right hands. Backs up Neri for a moment. Now he inches ahead.
See, positioning is the placement of a boxer compared or in relation to your opponent. With the lead foot, Neri is constantly moving to his left towards the right hand. That's why he keeps eating those right hands.
Good right hand returning fire. Neri stepping forward. There is a certain sound to the combination punching of Inoue that's very distinct. Perhaps an opportunity for Neri, but with them comes great risk. Like that!
There it is.
There's the risk with no reward! Left hook scores the knockdown again!
Being calm in the storm. You see right there, just found a little gap right there. Lead hand is down of Neri on the inside. Inoue noticing that, he attempted there, just missed off the mark, but he dips under. You see his eyes, he's looking right at Neri. He sees those hands, pull away from that face.
When we talk about punching technique, Tim,
look at this.
When you talk about the ability to turn a punch over in the last few inches of the delivery system.
Yes.
Under 30 seconds to go, facing one of the great closers in recent boxing history. Here comes the monster. Right hand, stood up to it for the moment. Inoue on the attack. An undisputed champion against a former champion. But there are levels to this game. And guys like Inoue and Bud Crawford are currently just on a far different pedestal.
It's brilliant stuff right there from Inoue.
Just stands up to that offensive effort from Inoue, from Neri, and fires back. Oh, his right hand. Combination up top.
It's almost over, Tess. Neri can't keep taking these type of shots over and over and over.
What do you see as a potential finisher here, Tim? There's the right hand! He just answered the question! As Neri has crumbled and the monster has roared! He's done it again! Of Luis Neri, Tim, there are not enough superlatives to paint on this performance from the second round on.
No, not at all. And that finish right there, I mean, what do you say, Tess? And look at the way Neri hit the canvas. Knees buckled. Got hit with an uppercut, short uppercut right there on the inside. But then that short right hand has that type of effect. Like, gosh, that's just different level of technique right there and punching power. That's God-given stuff right there. You know, Tess, you know what the difference is really with the Terrence Crawfords or the Inoues of the world? Their athleticism.
In the end, Naoya managed to retain his titles and overcame his first professional knockdown. But even in defeat, Luis Neri rallied what strength he had and vowed to come back for the title.
Thank you always for the support for Neri. Didn't get it tonight, but he will be WBC champion again.
The last fight on our list was the most intense one of them all though, and it was a rematch fans had been dying to see. Naoya Inoue first fought Nonito Donaire, first met in the ring on November 7th, 2019 in Saitama, Japan. After an intense battle that lasted 12 rounds, Naoya Inoue ended up winning by unanimous decision, and Nonito Donaire looked forward to a rematch. He would end up getting the chance on June 7th, 2022 in the same arena he lost to Naoya 3 years prior. Nonito trained vigorously to redeem himself in a showdown with Naoya, and he seemed to be in peak physical condition. And on fight day, Nonito stared Naoya down fiercely as they prepared for an intense, yet short, battle.
The first attempt by Donaire to land that right hand, which hurt Inoue on several occasions in the first fight, and sometimes gets overlooked because of his beautiful left hook. The Japanese crowd getting into it here, Dre.
Yes, good shot right there.
You see the jab of Inoue there with the counter right, and now a left hook from Inoue. One punch at any moment, you won't want to blink because they both have dynamite in their punches.
Which is impressive because the fighters are still warming up.
Nice left hook there from... Second time in their series.
He's hurt right now, Bernardo.
The belt was his greatest ally.
Everything, Inoue was winning that round, and nothing crazy had happened until it did. A quick right hand to the temple, of Nonito, and it sat him right on his butt. He didn't know how he got there. He just realized that he was on the canvas, and that's the type of explosive power that we've been promoting this fight with. They both possess it, but Inoue's is a little bit different, and we saw it on full display in that first round.
Now it's Donaire landing that vaunted left hook. See that right hand from Naoya Inoue. Inoue, you have to pick your poison. Now it's a left hook that rattles Donaire. It's devastating power, and the legs of Donaire are not all there.
And Donaire needs to get himself together before he tries to load up, but that's not in his nature. He wants to draw Inoue in, even though he's hurt, to try to land his own big shots.
You see another vicious left hook from the monster, Naoya Inoue. Body shot from the monster.
Looks like Donaire's made up his mind. He's going to fight fire with fire, and that's just the way it is, for better or worse.
Drops Donaire as he's able to somehow manage to find his balance. But Inoue, man, it might have been better to just go down, Dre, because Inoue is going to work here. And the left hook now does put down Donaire round two. And this fight is over. What an impressive knockout victory for the monster.
Because I went bam, bam, and just throw. By the time I went, I got caught with that straight on my temple. And when that happened, that was it. I think the best guy that I faced, and maybe perhaps if I was younger, it might be a different story, but at the moment of who I am in this time, I would say Inoue is the toughest that I've faced, or the strongest that I've faced.
With these wins over epic opponents, Naoya Inoue has battled with beasts and showed us why he's one of the greatest super bantamweight fighters out there. Comment who you think was Naoya Inoue's greatest opponent, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Goodbye.